Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. After a bit of a roller coaster ride yesterday, we're going to be discussing where we think this is going. Let's get into the video and see what's going on. Primarily, I'm still looking for the potential that we've set a low point here, and we're starting to form an additional structure to the upside. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking at this move in two ways really. Whether this is a wave one, we get a wave two down here, and then we look for a bigger third wave, potentially up towards 51K area. Or alternatively, what we could see within the structure is that actually our wave one completed here. This is A, B, and C. And we could be looking to progress up here in a bigger way now, again, for a third wave. So the key thing here is going to be getting back above 31K. And what I want to see is good structure starting to develop here if this is actually looking to take off from this point. At the moment, though, we do have the potential to come down again, so we're going to discuss that in a second. But this is the overall view that I'm looking at. Really, as long as we hold this 25,964 area to this 21,567, we can look for this potential to extend up. Okay, so now what I'm looking for primarily is to see whether we have this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. There's always the possibility this B wave could be not completed, and we could have something like this, A, B, and C, and then we look to break down from that point. So we're going to discuss that now as well. So before we do that, I just want to talk about some things which have been validated from what we were talking about yesterday. So what we were looking for was further extension, looking at this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking for an additional fourth and a fifth wave here. The thing is we came up too high and we crossed this wave 1 up here. So basically I'm going to remove this count now because it's no longer valid. The other one we were looking at was the potential we could actually see some further breakdown here where we cross this wave 2 area. So that is also gone. So now within this, like I said before, you need to be careful that there's not a flat correction here that's actually completed A, B, and C, because we have come down into the zone that it needs to for a completion of a move. The problem is I have this five-wave move to the downside here, which doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. So, it wouldn't really make sense for it to just break to the upside now, but sometimes these things can happen. Potentially this is just a wave two, but I mean, it is in five-wave structure, so it's a bit of a complicated one. What I'd like to see here is something like this ABC, if that is the case. And even this move to the upside is a bit iffy. We can count it as a five-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this being an extension within the fifth wave. But once again, it's just a little bit unclear. So I want to see this actually prove itself. If this is a flat and is completed, what we'd want to see is something like this. We want to see a move up towards this 32K, 478. But really, for as long as we stay below the zone of this 30,000 area, this high that we got here, what I want us to just be watching out for would be the possibility of continuation to the downside. So that's my primary expectation, unless we cross this high. If we do cross this high, then at this 30,036, then potentially we could have something else going on here. In which case, I would be looking out towards this 30,369 primarily. And then if this area is doesn't prove resistance, what I'd be looking for is that potential to actually push up higher towards 32,478. Obviously, we do have this high here. We'd have to keep an eye on towards the zone of this 30,865. But what I'd be looking for here then is, potentially that we could be starting to form our structure to the upside here, where we form a five-wave move up and three-wave move down, and then we look to find support above these levels again and look to push away from this zone. Okay, so that's what we're looking out for, in the bigger picture here, if we're looking for that breakout to the upside. Though it's not primarily what I'm thinking is going on, it is something we need to be aware of. Okay, so the other thing that we need to talk about is if this is a B wave completed, what we could have is something like this. So there's two ways that we can look at this. We can either look at this move as a potential corrective structure, where this is a WX and we could be getting a Y wave to the downside. So the key difference with this to the other count is that this is not looking at this as a five-wave structure. This would be looking at this as a W wave. This is an X wave. and then looking for the potential of an ABC to come down and complete a Y wave move, which would then look to actually bring us towards this 26,731. And if it's one to one with the Y wave, this 26,306. What I would not be expecting here would be, to take these highs. If we take these highs here, it could mean that we're still within this X wave, and I'd still be looking out for further rejection here, where we could see an ABC move to the upside, where one to one would actually take us back up to the high here of this 30,209, which could tie in with actually coming up here towards this 0.786 area, which would be this 30,367, which would basically be a retest of this high over here. Okay, so that's what we're looking out for this. We could see something like this. It's not my primary expectation, but what we want to see is if we get a three-wave move down here and then this move reverses and we come back up and take these highs, we'll have to treat this as a potentially corrective structure here, or alternatively as a flat correction. So this is one of the things we need to be aware. If this is completed into these lows here, or even potentially into these lows here, this could be the X wave, and then we're going to see continuation in this Y wave to the downside, looking for this 26K 306 potentially. Now, what we need to be careful of is a bigger impulsive move to the downside. So that would be looking at this move as a bigger breakdown here, where either we count this as a diagonal into this point here, we have this as a wave 2, and then we're looking for that wave 3 to start to break down here. So now the key thing is here, we would have to get a much deeper move for this to validate. We'd need to actually move down towards this zone here. So if I go onto these highs, we need to move down towards this 24,230 area for this to confirm basically. And then what we'd be looking for within this is, seeing a five-wave structure to the downside like this. And I'm going to just change the color of this wave so it's easier to reference in this blue wave that we've got here. So if we do break down in a bigger way and we cross this 25,153, what we'd be looking for here, in my opinion, is the possibility of actually coming down and looking to take out this 1.618. So obviously, just hitting that 1.618 isn't enough. What we'd then be looking for is basically to see whether we get a fourth wave rejection towards this zone again of this 26,513, and then looking for that potential to have an additional drop here. And that additional drop could look to actually take us down towards these zones of this 23,756 to this 23,000 area. So this would be looking at this as a bigger five-wave move to the downside. Now, if that's the case, potentially we could still argue A, B, and C, but the problem is it would be getting quite big at this point, and it becomes more likely that, that this would be something else, and this could be a beginning of a move to the downside where this becomes our A wave, we get a bigger B wave and a C wave to the downside. So this is something we want to avoid, is forming a bigger five-wave move. So we want to stay above this zone of this 24,230. Otherwise we get that potential of bigger five-wave structure to the downside. So this is something we just need to be careful of. Within this count, what I would be looking for is actually the potential for rejection here. We've come up already to the 0.786, and the way we've done so does just seem like a three-way move for the time being. It is possible that this could be some kind of a triangle. We'll have to monitor it, but there's a possibility we could argue that within this structure here, we do have a bigger triangle, and this would kind of tie into that corrective count where this is A, B, C, D, and we get an E wave here, in which case, potentially what we could be looking for rather, instead of looking for this 1.618, would be this one-to-one, which would be up here, this 26,721 area. So this is something we need to keep an eye on. If we do get a move into that zone, this could just be a corrective count. Like we said, looking for the possibility of an ABC pattern here, where this is A, B, and C to the downside, and then we actually look to break down. We break down from there, or alternatively, this could be a bigger flat. So there's a couple of possibilities here because because nothing, we haven't taken these highs yet. So primarily, I'm still focused on down here. It's just how deep we go. If it's just one to one, so if we go A, B, C, what we need to be careful of is that, we could still be in an X wave, or this could be W, X, Y completed, in which case we reverse. Alternatively, what we could get here is something even more tricky, and that would be looking at this move in such a way that we have a potential flat correction forming here. So looking at this whole move as an A wave to the downside, and then looking for something like this to play out. So this is something that we need to just be a bit cautious of. If we do see a three-wave move down here, A, B, C, and it looks to find support in the zone of this 26,942 to this 25,844, what we could actually have here is a flat correction where this becomes A, B, C. So one to one would actually be this 26,734. I'm going to be watching this and see if we actually get a sweep of these lows. If we do, what this could then set up for is basically having a C wave to the upside. So this one would be a very sneaky one. It would basically look to take the liquidity out both above and below here. What I'd be looking out for here is if we do come down into here, just in a three-wave move, is whether we see now a five-wave structure develop to the upside. So this is why we've got to be a little bit careful. If this is W, X, and Y, what we'd want to see is a five-wave move up, a breakdown, finding support, and then looking to push up again and continue. If we just get this as a B, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this starts to break down, we need to be cautious. If we cross this low here, it would be confirmation of a flat. So potentially we could see a move up towards this zone here of this 31,838 to this 30,549. So this would be obviously this would need some time to play out and can invalidate. If we move back above this high, it invalidates at 30,036. But until we do, we need to be on the lookout for stuff like this. So this could be a B wave to the downside over here, and then we see an additional five-wave move up for this C wave. So this is something we just need to be cautious of in this area. Potentially, we could see something like this play out where we get a flat correction. This could then make our B wave, and then we could see a C wave come to the downside after that point. So once again, if we get something like this, A, B, and C, that could be just a three-wave move completed, but we'd still, as long as we fail to actually take this high, we'd still need to just be a little bit cautious of any kind of a breakdown further down here past this zone of this 24,159 area if we do get a move up into this higher zone here. So, this is something we're just going to have to monitor on and see how this plays out until it actually invalidates. We need to just be careful because this would be quite sneaky. Like I said, three-wave move down, sweeping these lows, then a five-wave move up, taking these highs again, then looking to progress to the downside after that. Um, this could be quite a complicated one if it does do something like that. Okay, so that's basically, that's what we're looking out for within the structure here. We always have that potential that we could just see this direct sell-off here. So we need to be careful of this. At the moment, it's not indicating it's starting to break down, but it could be building some ones and twos in here. Um, or like I said, potentially something like a triangle, but we can't have a triangle on a wave two. So this would invalidate, this idea if it is a wave two as a triangle. But what we could have here is that this is just a three-wave move up, and now we're building this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we start to break down in a five-wave sequence. Then we find support, then we break down again, something like this. And then that would look to potentially bring us down towards this 25,153. But we'd have to await that confirmation. Like I said, I'm primarily focused on downside unless we cross back above this 30,036, yeah, 30,036 area. But if we do break back above that, we're gonna have to try and reevaluate what's going on here. Like I said, potentially this could be A, B, and then we look for a C wave up. Or alternatively, we could actually be looking to start something from here where this has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has just been a wave two, even though it does look like a five-wave move to me. You can count it as a five-wave move. So yeah, that would also be quite a tricky one. But really, for a bullish confirmation here, we'd have to get a move back above this 32,478 area. Otherwise, this potentially just looks to be a correction to the upside. So yeah, if we do take that high, like I said, this 30,369 is going to be an interesting area. If we come up here and retest it, there could be some resistance again at these levels, and we could look to reject and break down deeper. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.